Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Bionicle Inspiration Series, a series where I cover the builds of people online and talk to you a little bit about some of the cool stuff that they've done to hopefully give you some inspiration for something you want to be building in the future, or something you might be working on currently that you're struggling with, or just want to get a few more ideas for something, or to get you out of an artist block, or whatever you want to do. Today we're going to be focusing on non-humanoid designs. Now, essentially, if you don't know what that means, anything that isn't shaped like a human, pretty much. Here's a nice little diagram, I guess, that probably explains it a little bit better, but it's pretty straightforward, I guess. So, the first mock that we are going to start with today is Digimanded EXE by DJ OK-Sun, or DeJockson, or George. Now, this mock is freaking awesome. There's some really cool flow going on it with sort of using the same pieces like the Zamosphere launcher things. No, they're not Zamosphere launchers. What are they called? The fruit launcher things from my Bionicle knowledge is being tested once again. Thornax launchers. Suck it. Got it. Yeah, so really cool flow there in terms of sort of using the same texture and the same piece throughout the mock. Kind of allowing it to sort of look more whole and complete and together kind of thing. Also cool to see such an awesome color scheme. The sort of trans green mixed in with all the gray and stuff. Obviously with the name, I guess it kind of has this vibe of like a computer, bug. Clever. So like that color scheme, in my opinion, fits that perfectly. Really cool stuff with the eyes there as well, sort of using the Zamospheres there and aligning them so that the little bit of the eye is like a pupil. It's very, very clever. In terms of non-humanoid, some really cool piece uses going on here that sort of get that look really good. I mentioned the launcher pieces before. But also it's really cool, those meltdown tanks at the back there, making that into like a bug butt. Looks really, really cool. And also cool because it's basically copying a praying mantis in terms of shape. So it's cool because you can just copy what's around you in nature and get some really cool ideas for a really unique shaped mock. And also really cool seeing those sword pieces. They work quite well as the little praying mantis, little fighty, punchy punch hand things. I don't know what you'd call them. Someone correct me. But yeah, some really, really cool stuff here, especially with the head, with the little mouth and the antenna and everything. Essentially just copying what nature has, but achieving a really, really cool, realistic, but also slightly different, and putting it into his own mind and adding like creative license and stuff towards it. So really, really good job there. The next mock we have today is Kirk N Raptors by Monarth. So yeah, these guys are really cool. There's, how many of them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nice. There's a lot of these guys, and each one kind of represents each individual, I guess, element, like fire, ice, plant, rock, stone, all that sort of stuff. And it's cool because if you look at the post online, Monarth's done this sort of David Attenborough nature documentary style where he's like documenting each one of them and sort of talking about each individual part. Like for the ice one, for example, it's like, oh, this one's very interesting because it has a much longer tail than the other specimens. And like it's actually really fun to read. You feel like you're watching a nature documentary. It's fun. And I think that's a really cool idea, is building one mock that maybe doesn't use a huge amount of parts. And then rebuilding it again, kind of covering the same concepts, but maybe tweaking them slightly. And then, yeah, changing the element. And it's a lot easier with Arahi, because you can kind of do all the different species and stuff. Whereas maybe like a straight toa might be a little bit harder to, I guess, justify. But you can justify just about anything. It's all right. So, yeah. I think a lot of these are really, really cool. There's some really awesome tail designs, some really, really sick head designs. And again, like the last mock, some of them sort of reflect specific animals or dinosaurs or whatever, and that's awesome. And then you got cool stuff like this guy where he's got guns on his back. He's sort of like a genetically modified one, which actually looks really, really sick. So you can really just let your imagination run wild and do whatever you want with them. There's no rules, I guess. It's cool. Also, really nice piece use using the claw pieces as eyes. Throughout all of them, they look really cool and stand out quite a lot, which is really sick. Another thing I really like is how each element's reflected in a lot of them. Like the fire guy here, just a simple like flame tail, which is cool. And even as, going down to simple details, just like, using trans orange and all that on there, kind of making it look like lava's coursing through them and stuff, which is sort of reflectant of the ice guy, but obviously for ice and not lava fire sort of thing. Or even stuff like the plant guy using sort of more plant-like pieces on him and stuff. Just really simple little things like that really get the job done and looks great. Yeah, it really inspires me to want to build something similar, especially too, like, they're all quite small, but a really cool looking design. So it wouldn't take long to build and wouldn't take a lot of pieces, so it wouldn't be hard. There are instructions for how to do some stuff on these guys, however, I'm not going to show you a photo of them because I want you to look at Monarth's post. So head on over there if you want to get some instructions on how to build these guys. The final guy we have today is Sentry by Unuku. Really like Unuku's stuff. This is the third time we've had him on, and he's pretty darn good. Something I like about this, guys, is a really unique head design. Kind of reminds me of Wat Tambor from Star Wars, for those of you who know who he is. Really cool, really unique. It's cool use of those wire tube pieces to kind of create like a, I don't know, breathing apparatus or of some kind. And combining that with that head, in my opinion, works very well. I don't know, they just flow really nicely together. I can't really explain that, but it's very, very cool. Also using all those, like, the brain slug and the sort of spine pieces in the belly there looks really cool and reflects the Baraki head that he's used, not only as the head, but also for the arms there, which is cool to create a nice sense of flow. Yeah, there's some awesome stuff going on there. In terms of non-humanoid, we got a sort of six-legged design here. And it's cool because it slightly changes. Like, the back legs are like the Vizirac pieces, and then when you get to the front, they change and get a bit bigger, which is cool and seems to sort of fit stuff in nature. I don't know, you can kind of justify it with, like, as the species has evolved, the front legs get a bit stronger so it can support itself, or just naturally it would probably need that if it's got a belly at the front and a whole sort of centaur kind of thing. Yeah, so again, kind of adding your own rules to how it will look. Like, obviously you can be inspired by nature, like the sort of last few mocks could be, but this guy, it's from your imagination. You can do really what you want, and then adding some sort of creepier, cooler, slimier stuff, like the the brain slug and the spines and the Elec head and all that jazz is awesome. And yeah, you can have them just be, not that animals are mindless creatures, but you can have them be that in a sense. Or like this guy with the staff and stuff, I sort of see him as a little bit more intelligent. Like he's probably made the breathing apparatus around his neck and stuff. So yeah, if they're non-humanoid, they can be just as intelligent and just as... I don't know, I'm thinking more in terms of story. They can be just as, they can be no different from any other character in your story. So there's some really, really cool stuff going on here. Really cool finger design, by the way, just to point that out before we're done. And that about does it for today. Hopefully seeing some really cool non-humanoid designs has inspired you to sort of, I guess, think outside the box, kind of branch out and do whatever your imagination desires, or look around you in nature for some, cool concepts, because nature's got a lot of them, and they're quite inspiring, as we've seen today. Yeah, so hopefully that gave you some inspiration. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any ideas for future episode themes that you'd like, be sure to check the links in the description. There's a few places you can message me, or just comment below, really doesn't matter. Let me know, and I'll gladly do an episode on that. Also, be sure to check in the description. There you can see links to all the mocks that we've seen today. Be sure to check them out, especially Monarth's one, because like I said, there's some instructions in there, and I'm sure people like instructions, so be sure to check those out. And that is about it. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode. I enjoyed making it. I will see you in the next one. Happy building. Bye for now.